folks, how you doing? Wow, that was a terribly cheesy song that I just wrote and performed, but hopefully with any luck it will serve its purpose and demo what I'm looking at today, which is a Mel9 tape replay machine from Electro Harmonics. Rattle and Drum are stocking these and a bunch of other EHX pedals at the moment. I love these, I've said that before. This is a little bit different, this pedal. It's not like your normal stomp box. It's supposed to replicate a Mellotron keyboard from the 60s and 70s, and these things were crazy machines. They're basically keyboards that played tape reels, and they had a tape reel for every single note, and it would just be a sound that was looped, you know, either an orchestra or a voice or something like that. It's quite a nice organic sound, and you can hear that type of sound on Beatles records and various other bands of that era, and they stopped making them around mid-80s, basically because the modern digital synthesizer was born and there was no need for these big, you know, weighty things. So we'll have a look at that today, go through a few of the sounds and show you how it plays and how it tracks. Okay, we'll begin with the wet effect all the way up and the attack and sustain at 12 o'clock, and just try a chord. So what you notice straight away is that it's really sensitive. I mean, I'd be tempted to put it through a compressor or something like that just to bring the levels so they're just easier to play with. You know, if you play a wrong note then it sticks out like a sore thumb. Also, just even turning the tone knob on your guitar really makes a difference as well. I found if you want to play lead stuff you really have to turn the attack down, and that basically means that the attack's a lot faster and so it responds a bit quicker. So you even get that sort of portamento effect as well. So if you slide between notes, it tracks that as well, which is pretty impressive. There's a slight bit of latency, I noticed, but it doesn't really affect your playing too much. And saying it's a pedal on its own and not a massive multi-effects thing, then it's quite impressive that it does it so quickly, to be honest. This is one of my favourite sounds on the pedal actually, it's the cello, and it sounds quite realistic. If you turn the attack down a little bit and the sustain up, you can get some nice legato lines a bit like this. I like the third patch as well. It's string sound, and it sort of blends cellos and violins and what have you. I think I prefer it to the orchestral sound really. It's just a little bit clearer. You can even play fairly quick stuff on it as well. See? So a cool thing about this pedal is that you can blend some of your dry guitar sound with the effect, so you can have your own string backing to a bit of your guitar playing. We've got a flute sound here, which is quite pleasant. There is a clarinet sound. saxophone sound for the 80s kids. Guess what that is? So this next patch, the brass sound, is more of a kind of mellotron thing because it doesn't really sound like a brass sound that I'm familiar with, but I'm sure it works for that sort of 60s vibe. This next sound is the low voices sound. And the high voices sound, which is the one I prefer actually. So just before we round up, it's worth mentioning one very important last point on this pedal, and that is that there's a separate dry and effects output on the side here, which means that you could send your dry out to an overdriven valve amp and your wet could go to, say, a small solid state setup, which would mean that just by having this on your pedal board you could open up so many tonal possibilities and have that sort of epic string sound going on whilst you're playing your distorted guitar. So even some of the metalheads might enjoy it. I mean, you could ditch your dorky synth player in no time at all and free up some of your stage, for example, which obviously I'm only kidding about because I love synths and they're great. So anyway, check out this awesome pedal at Rattle and Drum, and if you're close by then go in and try it out yourself, and I'll catch you later on the next one.